Good morning. How's everybody doing? On this rainy Saturday morning, I was shocked. I didn't know we were going to expect rain, but thank you all so much for being here and joining us despite the icky weather outside. We are definitely appreciative to have you joining us today for the inaugural Midweek celebration event for the city. So on behalf of myself as well as the entire MWBE team, we are delighted to have you here to join us today, and we're appreciative to have your presence here to join in celebrating the great accomplishments and achievements of you all that are in this room today, and to be able to hear from some businesses who are where you are and actually doing the work and et cetera, and are able to share their success stories with you all today. And so thank you. Welcome. My name is Lakeisha Shaw. I didn't say that, but I'm the Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprise Program Manager for the City of Raleigh. And just thank you. But definitely excited to be here today. We're super excited to have you here, and so I'm going to turn it over now to Mayor Pro Tem Corey Branch, who's going to provide the proclamation to us today.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I heard this side. Good morning. Okay, there we are. That's a lot better. I know it's early. Well, no, not really. It's almost lunchtime. So, but hey, when you get up mornings, I have a 5-year-old like I do, and you can come in and start at 11. It may feel early when it's even later than what it is. But the reason Raleigh is successful, the reason Raleigh is able to be the #1 places to live is because of individuals like yourselves that are here in the room. So I want to make sure I take my time, even though this is one of 3 stops I have today, to start my morning off and say thank you. Thank you for what you do to make Raleigh the #1 place. Raleigh is trying to work hard to change how we do business, at least in city government, to make sure we have more opportunities and more doors. So I hope today that you're able to get some information that can be very helpful. I know we have a staff. When I first came to council in 2015, I think it was a staff of 4 in ED and maybe a half a person who worked on minority and women businesses. Now we've been a lot more intentional to make sure that we broaden the scope. Yes, we have a goal of 15%, but we can do better, and that's our intent. So I will not be before you too long. I will read this proclamation, and then I'll be out of your way. But I will go back and watch this, so you are being recorded, and this will go on RTN. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that, that people will see this, and they will see how important it is, and they will learn about the other opportunities that you hear about today. So whereas the National Minority Enterprise Development Week, also known as National Med Week, is observed in October to recognize and celebrate the achievement and contributions of the minority business enterprise community. And whereas North Carolina agencies, municipalities, and organizations host events to honor small minority and women-owned businesses, and whereas the City of Raleigh encourages and actively seeks a minimum of 15% participation by minority and women-owned business enterprises, MWBE, for all advertised projects, and whereas the MWBE program increase opportunities for historically underutilized businesses and promote diversity and inclusion, which is one of the organizational values for the City of Raleigh. And whereas creating and operating a business is a cornerstone of the American dream, and the City of Raleigh believes that dream belongs to everyone and celebrates the accomplishments of our MWBEs and values the many ways that our community is enriched by them. Now, therefore, Mary Ann Baldwin, Mayor of Raleigh, North Carolina, does proclaim October 8th through 14th, 2023, as Raleigh's National Minority Enterprise Development Week, and encourages all residents of Raleigh to get to know their local MWBE business owners, and work together to celebrate their accomplishments. It is signed, Mary Ann Baldwin.
Miss Alicia Puckett to the microphone at this point. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alicia Puckett with the City of Raleigh. I'm the project manager for the MWBE program. And thank you for coming to our first inaugural MedWeek event. I want to tell you a little bit about MedWeek. So we are actually celebrating the 40th anniversary of MedWeek this year. President Ronald Reagan first recognized MedWeek back in 1983. Governor Cooper also this week issued a state proclamation declaring October MedWeek. So again, I'd like to thank you for attending, and we're going to get started with our panel discussion. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our panelists. Our panel topic today is Secrets to Success. So all three of our panelists are certified MWBE vendors with the city and currently have city contracts. So I'm very excited for you to hear from them today, and there will be a brief question and answers session following the panel. So think as they're speaking about what you might like to ask. So as I present each panelist, if you want to come on up and take a seat, that would be great. The first one is Mr. BJ Lanier. He's a project manager with Lanier Construction. Mr. Lanier, Mr. Lanier is entering his 13th year of business with the company and is part of the second generation of this family-owned business. He holds a master's in business administration. Lanier is based in Snow Hill, North Carolina, and they provide construction services to both private and government agencies. Their services include everything from excavation, grading, utilities, bridge, and road construction work. They're currently working with the city on several parks and rec programs, including the Trenton Road Connector Project and Vintage Drive to Walnut Creek Greenway Connector. So you'll hear a little bit more about that today. Our next panelist is Angie Thacker with Pinham Construction. So Angie also has a special story. She was born in Mexico and eventually migrated to South Carolina. She started off as a labor cleaning construction job sites and worked her way up to the very, very top. She's the owner now of Pinham Construction. And last year, Pinham was awarded the 2022 Contractor of the Year Award by the Hispanic Contractors Association. Angie's a great big advocate for Hispanic women in construction, and we'd like to also recognize that we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month this month. So thank you, Angie. Pinham is currently working with the city on several projects, including shelter roof repair, HVAC replacement, and the historic park improvements, and many more. So you'll hear about those today. And last but not least, we have Mr. Melvin Malloy, the owner of Rags to Riches. So Rags to Riches is a mobile detailing business specializing in government and corporate fleet services in and around the Triangle. Mr. Malloy holds a criminal justice degree. He's originally from Laurinburg, North Carolina, and started out washing cars for family and friends. As demand grew, he found the courage to take his business full-time and begin seeking out government contracting. Since then, he's been able to grow his business and create several partnerships across the Triangle. He currently has secured many contracts with the city, and he's working in particularly with Raleigh PD, our K-9 units, various other departments, and other fleet services to clean vehicles. Then I'd also like to introduce our moderator for today, Miss Diana Graham. I'd like to point out that she is also an MWBE certified business with Crown for Success Global Consulting. She is an Army combat veteran, so we thank you for your service. She's also a published author, coach, consultant, and international speaker. She holds 2 master's degrees and her business is focused on human capital development, and it's molded around performance development, deploying action, education, training, and speaking. So without further ado, I am going to give Ms. Graham the floor, and our panelists are going to take it away. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, 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 hey. Oh, that's a little whack for a Saturday. All right, we're going to have a really good time together, so we're going to pop it off really, really quick. Check this out. If you got questions, jot them down. We're going to take them at the end, hopefully. But I don't want you to lose it, so make a note. Why? Because there is a saying by Jim Rohn that the shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. I didn't make it up. He made it up, but it's true. Hey, Jamal, good to see you 2 days in a row. All right, so if you don't know, I am super, super people friendly. I love folks. Why? Because you cut us all, we bleed red. Our panelists are super esteemed. They're glad to be here this morning. So Alicia gave you a really, really good rundown, right? A good overview of who they are, what they do, why they do it. But I want them to highlight any pieces that you want the room to know, right? Because we don't know who's in the room, we don't know how we can connect, and we don't know where our next blessing lies. God bless you. So let us know about your company, anything additionally you feel would be great to share. I am militant, so you can choose either way you want to go. I won't pick you today. But if nobody's talking, I will pick the next person. Any order. Tell us anything else about your company you would like us to know, or about you.
Look my way, so I'll start. I was gonna wait a little bit, but I'll go ahead and break it. There again, my name is B.J. Lanier with Lanier Construction Company, family-owned business. I am the second generation. We've been in business since 1984, so that's 39 years. We're approaching on 40 years, so we're very proud about that. We do highway construction around the town, around the city of Raleigh and throughout North Carolina for DOT and various municipalities, and storm drainage, water, sewer, general street construction, and we're here to do business and happy to be here in the city of Raleigh.
Thank you, BJ. Oh my God. Okay, first let's pause. If we're gonna clap, we're gonna clap. All right, who's next?
I guess me. Good morning. My name is Angelica Thacker. I am the owner of Pinham Construction. Pinham Construction, it has a lot of history in it. I know it's not a 40-year-old company, but I feel like it is because I think I've been 40 years in the making. I really started off from very, very humble beginnings, from cleaning construction job sites, trying to learn the trade, trying to set my vision into something bigger, trying to really learn the challenges of what comes with the industry, one being Hispanic, another one being a woman. So I learned the very hard way. Unfortunately for me, there was no motivators, no inspirers, no one to help me because I was a female. So I had to just take it on and learn it myself. Like I always say, I was really asking for someone to teach me how to fish. Don't hand me the fish. I wasn't asking for a handout. I was just really asking for someone to teach me how to hook the worm in the hook and show me how to fish. So I had to figure it out and learn it myself. And then I was determined that not only was I going to learn how to fish, I was going to own my own lake. And then let others come and fish in my lake. Others like women, others like minority.
Come on, Angie.
So that is who Pinham is. That is who Pinham is. We like to encourage and help other small minority subcontractors. We also like to give chances to people from the justice system. So we're all in this together. We can be a stronger community if we all unite. So I highly advocate for women in this industry and for people, again, in the justice system and continue to grow. So Pinham is about growing. Of course, I'm about profit. I'm about making money. And when I talk about making money that the government has for all of us minority businesses, I'm talking about money, y'all. I ain't talking about pocket change. So don't settle for the pocket change. Go for the money. So that's who Pinham is.
I feel like Angie had some amen corners over there on that side. All right, Melvin, I was all excited when I heard about you. I was like, yes, I need to get Melvin at my house to clean my cars. And I was like, no, he don't come out to residential. So that's not happening. So Melvin, tuck us away.
Yes, ma'am. So my name is Melvin Malloy. I own Raz Rich's Mobile Detailing. We offer fleet transportation wash to the government or any corporate business. I started out doing single vehicles. I'm from Lawrenceburg, North Carolina as well, let you guys know that. St. alumni, St. Augustine alumni. So. Right. But yeah, so I started out washing single cars, and I upscaled my business to fleet transportation wash for the government. And I'm very excited to be here. Thank y'all for having me here to tell my side of the story and the good and the bad. And like I said, I'm just trying to grow my business within the government and corporate businesses, and that's what we're here for. We're just here to help. Yes, ma'am. And we do single cars as well.
Oh, really?
So yes, we're early bookers.
It's
We do.
okay, as long as we stay on rotation.
Yes, ma'am.
I got you.
Because a lot of times people think that we don't offer single detailing, but we do. But we focus on fleet. That's what we do. Focus on fleet with government and corporate. Yes.
Well, I may got you with fleet, too, for the folks that have the Turo businesses, so let's
Okay.
just chat afterwards.
Okay, no problem.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
we live in this world where every single thing, right, it's all about an image. It's all about the success. Nobody talks about the barriers, the challenges, except for the authentic people, which we love to use that term, but let's be honest, it's probably 90% of people that's not authentic. Nevertheless, our panel here is open and honest and transparent. And so I want you to tell us today, what are some barriers, some challenges that you face with obtaining government contracts? Because we like the good government money, but how easy, how hard, what was it? You know what I mean? And once you get it, can you maintain it? Take us away, panelists.
All right. Well,
BJ, all eyes went to you, so take it.
well, you read from left to right, so it's a natural motion. So let's go with it. So I asked the folks in my company what did they think about this question, and one of the first things that they brought up was prompt payments. As a small business, especially doing work with government entities, you typically, it's a 30-day pay period. You go ahead and you do the work, and then you invoice. After that, you got 30 days before you receive payment. And as you know, you have materials, equipment, labor that you have to purchase. So it's got to have some money to get going. That's why some say it takes money to make money. But, we can all get going. It's one thing to get the contract, but the other challenge that I think we all face is the cash flow and, getting your money. And that's just one of the challenges that we see, that we face is prompt payments and things like that. And that's not to say that people don't pay, but, that's what I'm bringing to the table.
Can I ask, what's the longest length of time that your companies had to wait for payment? Because I'm not going to tell you mine. I may on the sidebar conversation. Had to wait for payment from a government contract.
See, I looked out the corner of my eye, and I have Cheryl Lanier over here, and she pointed up 2 months.
Something to think about.
And it's sometimes, let's say you do the work, okay, you fill out your invoice, the pay app and everything, and then if you have got to make an adjustment, sales tax or whatever, sometimes it has to go back to the starting point. So now you start over with that 30-day process, and for a small business, you're like, man, just a little mark there. I mean, we could have expedited that. So that could be a challenge, especially when you have subcontractors that already did the work. They're small just like you are, so, they're calling, looking for a paycheck. So I think everybody is dealing with that when you're doing work with the government, so.
Very good, thank you.
For me, on my experience, we're here to say it like it is and keep it real. So I'm going to keep it real.
No other way.
For me, the biggest challenge was really trying to beat the good old boy system. That is still happening, and to try to get into that, to try to fight that, to try to change the mindset of that. The sun shines for everybody, and if you go out and get it, you're going to get it. Like I said, I don't want anything to be handed out. I just want the opportunity to be in the right room with the right people. But if you don't tell me what doors to knock on, I will never know what doors to knock on. That was one of my challenges was, tell me who do I need to meet, put me in front of the right people. or at least just tell me where the doors are. I'll take care of the knocking. I'll open and kick the door, but I'm gonna make that contact. So making the connections was a challenge. Learning who to talk to was a challenge. And really surrounding myself with, finding who to surround myself with that had the same visions and mind goals that I did. As my business was growing, I had to put myself around people with the same mindset. And there's a lot of business owners, but not a lot of them are willing to go where you want to go. So stay away from those, let them be happy where they're at, and find the ones that want to grow with you and partner with you. Not work with you, but not work for you, but partner with you. So that, and it's still a challenge, because I'm still trying to find people. The bigger your network, the more your opportunities and possibilities.
So the challenge that I face was actually learning how to, like she was saying, market your business to the government and corporate clients. And also, once you find the right person in the right department to market your business, you have to stand strong on that, and you have to let them know that you're here to help, to let them know that if anything comes about far as, work related, you're always there to help, and you're going to offer affordable prices across the board. That was another thing I had to learn far as offering my price across the board, figuring out that budget a little bit, because everybody's budget is not the same. And so, those challenges, I've been told no so many times. To be honest with you, a lot of contracts and opportunities I have right now, most of those told me no in the beginning, a lot of them. But then they double back, and actually, I stayed persistent, following up with emails, calls, letting them know I wasn't going anywhere. You're going to see Rags and Riches here. And just basically letting them know that I'm definitely here to help, and, I have affordable pricing all the way across the board, so I wouldn't go to this business and say, hey, I'm going to charge you this price, and I'm going to charge you this price. This is public information. So you want to make sure that your pricing is across the board, and you have suitable, and you're definitely doing the work that you say you're doing. Yes, ma'am.
So good. So I tell my team, you had something.
I was wondering how, did they have more than 2 months to wait for government contract? I'm sorry, the payment.
Oh.
That was the question, nobody answered.
No, I
Well, he
asked them for
answered.
any barriers or challenges, okay, and so that's where he led with. But keep that, because when we get to Q&A, we can dive deeper into it. Very good. I like the attention to detail. So I always tell my team, do not come to me with just the challenges. I also need a solution for the situation.
Sure.
And so I like to look at no as next opportunity, or simply just not right now. So I love the way that Melvin led us into, they may say no today, but we don't know what they may say in 3 to 5 months, which means that's why you don't burn bridges.
That's right.
And you don't know who knows who. I don't know. You can think this world is huge. Let me tell you how I quickly found out the world is not that big. I was in London in a coffee shop, and the guy beside me, sister, went with us to Campbell University. Watch what you say, when you say, and how you say. The tone matters. So I want to go back to my panelists. Give us some solutions for some of these challenges, these barriers. How can we, when we get the next no, when we don't have the proper startup money to maybe hold over that subcontractor or to make the payment while we wait for our payment, or this is my price, I'm not changing, but you want to negotiate 30 times. How do we break these doors down? Like you said, we can kick this door down. Should I use my right foot or my left foot? Do I kick it down on a Monday or do I kick it on a Friday? Give us some of these solutions to these barriers you've overcome, or you're still overcoming.
Well, for me, it was, I had to learn how to borrow from Peter to pay Paul, how to use that system, how to work with banks when it comes to, funding for cash flow until, your payment for your commercial project comes in. There's so much to learn that, putting yourself out there, getting to know the people that will help you with these resources, to me is like, sometimes the solutions are there. We just have to know where to find them.
Well, for me, My experience was mostly finding the supply diversity advocates in the different towns and different places that I wanted to do business in. And I also became vendors in everybody's system. So if I want to be, if I want to work in Fuquay Arena, I will be a vendor in Fuquay Arena system. I want to work in Zebulon, I'm gonna be a vendor in Zebulon system. So I definitely made those partnerships and with the supply diversity advocate, and also from there I prepared myself with a great capability statement so I can pitch my services and let them know what we offering, how we can help you to save time, money, liability issues, all kind of things like that. So I definitely put my best foot forward once I talked to that advocate and let them know, the service that we offer, like I said, as far as the capability statement. And then I also did a follow-up email and call after that to see if that would be something in budget, because a lot of times when you present your services to the government, sometimes they don't have the budget aside for the services that you're offering. So you kind of got to know what you're getting yourself into, and it's not going to be a yes all the time. It's never going to be a yes first. I just programmed that in my mind, and they're never going to call you back the same day, maybe not even in the 24 hours, maybe up to 48 hours. I sent emails, and I actually had to learn this myself, I'm going to be honest, when I first started, because I left my job in 2022, February 2022. I was always working for the state, but I always did my business on the side. So when I left from the state, I took my business more serious, and like I said, I got in on the supply diversity advocates, and I let them know the service that we were offering, capability statements, and I actually grew from there. But from that moment, when I sent the email, that's what I was about to say. So when I sent the email, the first email I sent, they actually responded back and say, hey, we're humans over here. The email has to be a little bit more better, just to be honest, because it was more like, hey, I got this service, can you pay for it? Simple. And it doesn't work like that. Because they're like, hey, we got to fill you out. We got to know that you're a credible business offering these services, and how's this going to work? We can't do this, we don't do this. So you kind of got to make the government or corporate businesses feel comfortable about, the angle that you're trying to approach from. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm hearing, and I'm going to try to put this in a word, is what I see is that you do have to, both of our panelists are saying, you do have to continue to work on your relationships with people. One thing, like there's a way to navigate the system when you're working with the government entities. There's certain people that can get you certain things. There's certain people that can tap you in on what's upcoming. And, I talked about basically prompt payments. The solution to the barrier could be a policy change, but then if you really dial down and look at it, that's a relationship that you can develop, that you can make somebody aware that they can start to work on that issue, as well as learning the process and say, hey, well, okay, I did the work. Maybe I'm new to this. I did the work. Now, what's the right way to submit my invoice? So, those are some of the solutions, but the major takeaway that I see, and I do call people a lot, just, hey, how you doing? What you got? So you want to develop a relationship, and I think that's what both of our panelists are saying, is that when they run into a challenge, they are seeking the right people as a solution, because there's somebody in a department somewhere. It may not be labeled help, but there's someone that's there to direct you in the right spot. You just got to keep calling and letting people know who you are, and like Melvin said, we all people, not just some, template. We're, communicate as a person. So that's a big solution, I think.
You about to say something else?
No, I was about to say, like he was saying, you have to dress those emails up. It's like, hey, how you doing today? I hope you're doing well, and you letting them know, you're going into your direction of what you're trying to offer and get them to do. So it's like, and then once they see that and they know that you're a human being as well and you're responding the right way, then possibly they make some things happen. And one thing you got to understand, when you're talking to supply diversity advocates, a lot of them know each other all the way around, whether it's this town, this city, that city, a lot of them know each other because they come out and they come together. So once you understand that and you're coming to events, you're showing your face all the time, they get tired of seeing you, they're going to try to help you out because they want you to go ahead and get you some work. So, yes.
So true. So I don't know where you guys will take this moving forward, since this is the first one, but they have to be open, honest, and transparent.
Yeah.
All right, so when you mentioned, I heard the word relationships and I heard the word resources a lot. can we share any associations, certifications, any software, banking, any of those types of resources or relationships that would be good for folks just to keep in mind, right? Keep top of mind. I remember when I was first in business, I didn't know. I would go to the banks that people would talk about, like the big banks. I didn't know they had these monthly fees that I couldn't keep up with, and then, took the little bit of money that I did have for the one contract that did want to pay me, so now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for myself, right? Guide us, resources, relationships, because I can look out in the room and tell you people that if you don't know them, you should know them, and how I probably have their numbers in my phone. Why? Out of relationship. And they may not have something for you to do with whatever your expertise, your skills, your talents, whatever your CAPE statement says, but everybody knows somebody. I believe wholeheartedly in 6 degrees of separation. So who are your 6 people that you're away from, but you don't want to spend time afterwards? You just came and ate the Panera bread, sat for the panel, and then you left. Stay for your resources and relationships panel.
So, one of the things, a resource, and I think Melvin just said it, showing up in person. I was talking in relationship, but email is one thing. But then when somebody sees your face, even, this is a good resource. Last week, I attended another event, and they discussed the online resources that are advertising bid opportunities, the process in going through it, even attending pre-bids, even if you're not planning on bidding as a prime contractor, they still go through the requirements in order to bid. Also, you'll see people that work with the city who you'll get their email. You can reach out to them that way. So I think anytime that you can put a face with who you are in your company, that leads you to the resource. And I'm kind of I'm blessed being the second generation, so I've had people before me that was the fullback. They blocked for me, and so I'm just kind of running through. So there are other challenges that they face that I haven't seen, but what I'm looking at is just trying to meet everybody that you can, and just kind of go to the meetings, and you'll always pick up just a little bit of information. So that's what I have to say.
For me, it's really about, I don't know if my mic's working. Oh. So for me, it's about the quality of the resource. Mm-hmm. Because there's resources out there that take you nowhere. Some of them don't even respond to emails or answer phone calls. So it's not the resource, it's the quality of the resource. I am the type of person that if I'm going to recommend the water from the well I drink water of, it's going to be good quality water. So because I want that help to be given to the right individual from the right organization, from the right resource. That's all.
Well, mine's, I would definitely say, 2 great resources that I definitely use. I'm going to point those out. They are definitely the NC Hub certification, and also using Shanita's business, Shanita Allison's business. She has Bold Growth Agency, where she connects minority business to the government and corporate opportunities. So honestly, I'm going to be real. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her and the knowledge that she has obtained to help me out on my journey and to know what direction to go to. So definitely, like I said, it would be the NC Hub certification. It would be Bold Growth Agency that did a lot for my business. Yes.
So good.
And y'all should follow her on LinkedIn. If y'all have LinkedIn, y'all should go look up Bold Growth Agency on LinkedIn and follow them, and also follow the Hub office. Get Hub certified if you're not. Bold, B-O-L-D, Growth Agency. Yes, ma'am. Or need a piano.
No apologies needed. You better network. That's the whole purpose,
That's right. That's right.
So I will tell you, I'm 100% on board with Angie about letting it be something of quality. I think Carla and I talked about this many years ago. I spent my first year meeting so many people that had nowhere to take me. It was one corporate organization. I was so excited, right? Because I pulled up on the lot. They had 30% of their cars were Teslas. I was like, yes! Answered prayer. This is going to be the contract I've been looking for, right? And I met with this lady for months on end to find out she had no authority of making a decision, of signing off, of the checkbook. I felt lower than a pregnant ant. I was so discouraged. I was bruised. But that taught me really quickly after that first year of be very intentional of what the resource needs to be and how it needs to be, right? So sometimes you just won't know until you get involved. But let me tell you, after that the second meeting, and you see ain't nothing, stop wasting your money and your gas and on these coffees and these brunches. Go on to the next person. I appreciate you. All right, so since we know life is challenging, we all want to get this money because the money's here. Money is in abundance. I just want you to know, just in case you think you got to keep dumbing down things, it's not true. There is so much money out here in abundance, but you got to advocate for yourself. You are your voice, you are your brand. So, panelists, tell us some ways that you advocate for yourselves, some ways that you make yourself known, you stand bold, you stand your ground, so that folks can take away these tips and techniques and try to incorporate them in the work that they do.
Right. Well, for me, it's, being here is an example. Being here and voicing your concern. Like you said, you represent your business. You are your image. You are a walking billboard. It's how you carry yourself, how you represent yourself, that will determine where you go and how far you will go. That's, putting yourself out there, making yourself known, and not saying yes to everything, not selling yourself low. You're talking about all this money that is out here, for, I'm not going to say most of it, but a portion of it goes to minority businesses, women businesses, and, we need to know, people talk about this money, but how do we get to this money? Who is going to take us? Give me a name of the contact or the person that I need to talk to about this money. It's so easy to and I've been to several events where people talk about this. There's funding, there's money, and then the second they talk about it, they walk away. So no contact phone number, no contact name, nothing on, oh, well, here's the money, y'all. How does that help us as minorities? But you know what they did? They had to put that show to mark a box so they can get grant and funding again for their next, project. So, like I said, I like to keep things real. That's what we're here for. And the only way we're going to grow and prosper is to try to figure out how to find solutions for some of these challenges that we're facing as minority businesses. I did not create a business to keep it always at the bottom. I'm not spending, 20 years of my life growing a business to always only be getting pocket change from the city, the county, or the state. I'm going after millions, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I am.
That's right.
It may not happen today, tomorrow, but I'm getting there, and I am very grateful for the cities that we have been working with, from the city of Durham to the city of Raleigh, city of Fayetteville, Wilmington, Rocky Mount. There's just so many cities that I am very, very grateful for, because they are showing initiative, because they are really showing that they want to play a part of it. Is really just, how far do we want to go? Fear is always going to want to hold us back, because when you're used to the 100,000s, under the million, and you peak into the millions, then it can get a little scary. But there are organizations there that will help you, that will mentor you, that will coach you on how to get to that level without any fear. So I'm not the type of person that settles. I will not settle for pocket change. So, but that takes, like everybody here has been saying, that takes relationship building. And the money will not come if the relationship is not there. So.
That's right. So for me, how I stand firm on what I got going on is basically off of my capability statement. I always have a great capability statement. You have to have that great capability statement, those flyers, your marketing. And also, one of my biggest things that I do is where my end user is on LinkedIn. So all my government people that make these decisions that can use my business and can fund what I have going on as far as, using the services. Basically, I post everything I have on LinkedIn. So at first, I will post 1 or 2 videos. I always told my lady, I was like, man, nobody want to see these cars every day. That's what I was saying. She was like, no, just post because you have to show people what you're doing. And of course, my following grew. I probably had like 100 followers like last year, and now I'm probably over like 1,300 followers, which is not a whole lot, but it's a lot for me because I just started. And I have been posting everything that I do, as far as any fleet stuff that we do for the government or any corporate business. And LinkedIn is one of the most powerful things that you can use for far as your business and finding end users for what you're doing.
So good. BJ,
Yes.
have you went yet?
No, I
I
haven't.
saw you pull out the pen. I was like, if he's already went, he's got some new ideas. So let's go.
No, I'm like, me and my son, we like, oh man, we all over the place. So I had to write it down before I lost it. But I think branding, and in particular, not just a flashy website or popping Instagram, but it does tag along that. I think the main thing is to do good work, do quality work, show it, learn the process to bidding and developing the relationships, and having that portfolio that you can show and say, hey, I have the experience to do this. This is what I've done for Durham. I can do this for you too. So I think that is a big part in branding and showing that you have that expertise and the people that can deliver whatever product that they're looking for.
So good. I want to challenge you in the audience to do this before the weekend is up. That means before Monday rolls around at 9 a.m. before you go back to your lovely lives. I want to challenge you to write a list of past performance. List who you served and how you served them. The government loves numbers. So how many people did you serve and what amount of time? What did the budgets look like? These are things you need to have readily available so when your opportunity comes, you can be able to push it forward. Another thing is identify your unique identifiers. They probably get thousands of emails a week. I really don't know how many they get, but I'm assuming it's a lot because I get a lot of emails. Y'all get a lot of emails. So the inbox looks kind of crazy by the end of the day. But what sets you apart? Something so simple we started doing many years ago is we do daily amplifiers. Depending on the day, that's how our email starts. So today's Saturday, so today will be Splendid Saturday. Sunday is Supernatural Sunday, Marvelous Monday, Triumphant Tuesday, Wonderful Wednesday, Terrific Thursday, and Fabulous Friday. They may not remember Diana Nicole Graham, but they say, that's the girl, but you're the one that's always got something in the email. Something as small as that. Find your way to set you aside so you're remembered and then show up. Do not overpromise and underdeliver, which is where a lot of folks start missing. They get the one opportunity, and you don't do well. So keep that in mind. All right, panel. Being valued as an MWBE small business, what does that look like for you? Because the word on the street is, oh, it's just another certification. Nobody cares about that. Or, why'd you spend your time to apply for that? They don't really give the money to MWBEs. How do you make yourself stand out to show the value of being an MWBE?
I think that the certification, let's not use that to get all of the 15%. You're really building a business, and this is a certification that you're letting, hey, I'm also a minority business, but that doesn't cap you. There's the 100%, there's the 15%. The 100% is still available to you, and so you're really just you're really still just trying to build a business for whatever you do, and taking advantage of all these resources. And this certification, it doesn't speak to your quality or somebody just giving you something. You're still after the whole pie, so to speak.
I think for me, it really brings value. I like to say, I am the certification. So the certification doesn't make me, I make the certification. It's more, it really helps in really getting to a different level of bidding when it comes to the commercial side of things. In many cases, it really has helped me. In some cases, I don't know if they, as soon as they see, the minority certification, if it helps or if it hurts it in some cases. But I want to say probably 80% of the time it has opened the doors to government projects, to city projects, even federal projects right now. So yeah, I think I highly encourage, I always highly encourage subcontractors to go after the hub certification, the minority certification.
Yeah. And I second what she said too, as far as the certification. Like I said, I always look to grow my business as far as getting solidified yearly contracts with the government. And also warm introductions from other people within the government about my business. And it's easy to, as far as getting great feedback about the services that you offer. Like they say, you have to stand on your services. You can't come into government and just, do bare minimum and expect a lot. It's not going to work like that. So you have to back up what you're saying. And like she was saying too as well, they want to see all the past performance you got. Like on my capability statement, I put out a lot of stuff that we do, because once I show them that, they like, okay, well, he has over 10 businesses that's already doing business with him. So he's definitely a credible business, has a great capability statement. And I kind of maneuver like that through the government. And like I said, I would always like to grow my business and, get those warm introductions as far as contract opportunities yearly.
One last thing to that. Also, if you have a certification, and maybe there's another subcontractor that doesn't have it but has another one that you can use, you can always partner with someone else that doesn't have the same certifications that you do. For example, like the 8A certification. I may not have it, but I know someone that will. Hey, are we willing to do a joint venture together? You got this certification, I got mine. So put them to use, maximize them, and use them to the max, because that's what they're there for.
I love joint ventures and partnerships. That's one of the ways my company has also been able to be blessed, is things that we don't do, but there's pieces that we do. And when they say, hey, we would like to pay you this percentage because you have this certification to help us carry out this, you know what I say? Send over the contract. We would gladly review it and sign it. And so that's got us in places, like you're saying, with organizations I would have never known to look for. The latest one was out of California, and I live here in North Carolina, right? So you never know. Okay, so I'm gonna give one more question to the panelists before we turn over to Q&A from the audience, and then we're gonna do some more engagement. All right, so one takeaway. If you had to give one big highlight to take away from today, for the group to take away from today, what would it be?
I would say do your market research. Do your market research, find out your end users. Never give up, never take no for an answer. If that one person tell you no, go left, go right, so you can figure out which way, where you're gonna find a yes. Yeah.
And I would say surround yourself by the right people. Stay away from the negative, small-minded people, because they will not take you anywhere. Find you a mentor, find you a coach, find you a role model that can take you to where you want to go.
Continue to build a relationship. I talked about capital. Develop a relationship with your banker, your bonding agent, and just continue to meet people, brand your business, do good work, and shout it from the rooftop.
That's right.
And as you continue to move forward in these spaces, be mindful of how frequently language changes. So if the language of the industry you're in has shifted, maybe you need a little rebranding so that you can align with your strategic growth plan. So I remember years ago when people were saying things about, it was some term they were using that it was really strategic planning, but they changed it to something else. And I didn't know that that's what the language was. So when we showed up for a meeting, they automatically were disconnected from us, from the language we were using, not knowing, like you're saying, your market research, it had shifted. If you think about technology, how fast that is moving, everything else is kind of following that same path. So make sure that we're staying super attentive to what it is. All right, time for Q&A. You can go to the mic or you can use your good commanding voice. Either way is good. What's some questions we have? Take it away.
One question I have is, I'm hearing a lot about relationships, but I'm also noticing that a lot of people don't understand how networking works. So what advice would you give to an up-and-coming company on how do I network? How do I keep the wheel turning? I'm sending the email, but this might be out of my wheelhouse. I'm nervous. I don't know how to keep the relationship piece going. What tools can you give those up-and-coming businesses on how to be effective in their networking so that it actually makes a connection and then continues?
I love that. Panelists, who wants to take it?
I think these events are important, but I think a lot of times you can end up meeting other small business owners or people that are just like you. But a lot of these contracts, I guess from my perspective, and maybe other trades will have a pre-bid meeting. The people that I work with and meet with, to be honest with you, aren't here today. But when I go to a pre-bid meeting, I get to know different project managers, and we all know how the market is today. There's new people coming into the door every day, so I get an opportunity to meet somebody new, and we meeting each other for the first time. For as far as he or she knows that, I've been coming here for years now. Mm-hmm. So I think that coming to events like this is important, but also going to, I guess, trade meetings for what you're the contract that you're seeking is important as well. That way, if you're trying to be a subcontractor, you meet other general contractors, and you can also meet other project managers or employees within the city who could help point you in the right direction and help you reach your goals.
There you go. You got anything?
I think it depends on how hungry you are. Because if they tell me there's a buffet table, and there's going to be good food, I'm going to be there. I may not know who's going to be there, but I'm going to be there because I know who prepared the food is going to be there. So that's the person I want to know. When I go to networking events, I always tell, my subcontractors, hey, when you go to networking events and there's more than 50 people in there, listen to your audience. Listen to who the people in the audience are, and then pick that one target and go after that target. If you can't reach them because they're talking to other people, find you 2 or 3. You will never get to talk to all of them at the same time. But if you accomplish 1 or 2, you have already left with more than what you came in there with.
And see, one thing about me, I'm never ashamed or afraid, right? Because you're here to learn and you're trying to grow as well. So I always want to go up to anybody that feel like, maybe I shouldn't approach them. I'm going to approach you, because knowing your title and your position, you can't do that but give me information, right? So I'm definitely have my capability statement. I always say something about a capability statement because that lets people know directly what you're doing. I also always have my flyers as well. And if anybody ever need a flyer today, I definitely have several flyers with me. And I also offer a QR code on my flyers because that makes it more accessible for them. Once they scan it, they say, oh, it popped right up. I see directly what he's doing. It's automatically now in your phone, whether you want it to be or not. So definitely know what you have going on. Like I said, that capability statement, those flyers, and just me following up. Like a lot of times, I'm telling you right now, I had partnerships that told me no when I first started, and I just stayed persistent. I followed up every 2 to 3 months, just like, hey, how's you doing? Happy Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, whatever, just to start that conversation with them. Because once you start that conversation, I'm telling you, you're building a relationship with that person right then. And I started a relationship months ago prior, like probably 6 months before that, and they told me, no, we don't have it in budget, we can't do this, we can't do that. Near the end of the year, probably around Christmas, they called me and was like, hey, Mel, we got something in the budget for you, man. I just want to let you know, I appreciate your persistency, following up with me, staying on top of, just email, checking in, phone calls. That stuff holds a lot of weight. So you definitely have to put your best foot forward and stand in these people's faces. You send them an email, don't be afraid to go over there and say, hey, how you doing? Give them a church hug, whatever it takes. Because you want them to know, hey, I'm still here. I'm always gonna be here, and I'm here to help. So, yeah.
Very good. Was that helpful?
I hope.
And so some other things that I want to give you is that I believe that 90% of it is showing up. We often say we want things, but we never go to the places where the things are. It's like the folks that, let's take it there for a moment, that say, oh, I want to be married. So if somebody come and ring your doorbell and say, I'm your husband, psychopath. But because you don't ever want to go nowhere, that's what you get, right? So 90% is showing up. And then just kindly share who you are. You ain't got to give a whole speech. Hey, I'm Diana Graham, Crown for Success. Can I have your business card? I got one friend. I'm going to give you this, and I'm coming to you. This joker only goes to the event for the cocktail hour because he's already outlined who he wants to see. He goes up to him at the bar and says, hey, can I buy you a drink? They say yes. He gets their card. He leaves. That's his whole MO. His company is now with the Venture 2 level capitalist, where he's about to sell his IT company in Arizona from that one model. It works. Yes, ma'am.
Well, hello.
Hey.
I am Evangeline D. Blakeney. I'm President and CEO of Blakeney Global Solutions. My question is two. I'm just put them together. What has this government contracting journey taught you about yourself, and what is the best piece of advice that you've gotten from someone?
Ooh, that's nice.
That ain't on the paper.
You're correct, BJ. It was not on the paper. This is from the audience. Who wants to take it first?
Well, I can say, first of all, I found out that I'm a lot stronger than I thought. A lot of times you have to take your personal feelings out of government contracting. You do, because it's just business, and like I said, you have to give people time to respond, and you just have to be consistent, and you can't let people run you off. You have to be brave and stand on what you got going on, because you're trying to elevate, trying to go somewhere. So if you're not doing that, then you're never going to elevate. So you have to just believe in yourself and stay consistent on what you have going on.
For me, what I learned is that dealing with the government is a different animal, okay? It's so much, and if you have to educate yourself on how to go after what bid. You have to have the cash flow in there to support that, because if it takes, 60 to 90 days to receive payment, you have to make sure you're financially covered. You're gonna get paid, it's the government, they'll never do you wrong. But you just have to make sure, that you're very well educated when it comes to that specific realm of projects.
I would say don't take it personal. And what I mean by that is, yeah, it's great when everything goes well, but let's be honest, in business, you always run into little disagreements, and you can't go to sleep with it and then hold it against that person, because they're trying to do their job, you're trying to do your job. And so don't take any of the day-to-day issues as personal. So you take it for what it is, and you just push through and do whatever you can to get the job done.
So good. Come on, next Q and A. Question for the answer.
My name is Kwesi Aqua, an IT solution. My company is Connect Dot Solution. I recently got certified as a hub zone, looking for teaming partners in IT, cybersecurity, just in case anybody's here advocating for my company. My question really is, there are people out there called capture managers and contracting associations and all that. Does the panel advocate for getting help if you don't know how to market to the government, or is it best to just take your time and just go through the pain of learning this beast? If that makes sense.
Great question.
I would say partner with someone that already knows the way of how it works. Sometimes that's how we have to do it. We have to partner with a bigger person and then learn from them. Partner with a company that is willing to help you, willing to walk you through the process. And there's a lot of them out there that are really wholeheartedly out there to help you navigate, the government system.
I would say go through the pain. To be honest with you, we've submitted a bid before, and the only way to learn is when they say, hey, BJ, you didn't put that there. It's a painful learning experience, but the next time, it only happens once. So no one can really prepare you for that or get you to that point. So oftentimes we don't want to talk about it like that, but you got to go through the pain in order to really know the process in order to do all of this.
I'm going to say this right here. The main thing that I can say is to do your research. Because like I said, I know when I started last year, I was going to sleep watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out government contracting realm and, things like that. But you have to do your research before you jump out there so you'll know where you're going. Because if you don't and you don't figure out where you're going, you're never going to go anywhere. And like he said before, you have to take your feelings out of this stuff, because you can't, feel some kind of way one day and the next day you wake up and you're still holding on to that, because it's just business. That's where you have to look at it. And one day at a time, and it's going to work out. You just got to stay persistent and consistent.
And if you do want to invest in one of these companies, check their history too, because a lot of them are just coin collectors, because they don't know, because they ain't never had one. But I'll leave it to that. Who was next with a question?
The part two.
Come on, girl. Come on, come on.
I was like, I'm not gonna do it, but the part two, because I know the first probably threw you a little bit, didn't it? Okay, so the part two is what is the best piece of advice you've ever received, right? So if that, it could have been like early or just as you've been contracting, but that thing that was like, damn, that really made a difference.
I lost it. I'm sure I
Yeah, I'm
received
thinking
a lot
too.
of good
So
information.
much.
A lot of advice. I can't articulate that at that point, but to be honest with you, I've, like I said, I'm second generation, so I get tidbits of information continually, and it's not just one piece. It's just kind of the overall game, so to speak, that I can't just. Well, I will say this. It was told, don't take it personal. That was told to me because, I said, hey, just go to sleep. Don't take it personal. So, yeah, that is it.
Well, I know I keep saying this, but the best advice I can give you again is to never give up. That's the main thing. I mean, I heard so much good advice from so many different people, but that's just what they kept telling me because I kept getting to blocked doors. I was actually talking to people, and I'm like, hey, how do I do this? What do I do next? And they're like, you just have to keep going. When you get that no, you have to figure out another way, or maybe you have to move around and figure out another place or a department that can actually use your services, or depending on your business, what you're offering. But it's so much vital information. But I mean, I get this vital information from, like I said, supply diversity advocates, people that's in these kind of places right here that can actually tell you something. Like you got all these wonderful people back here, Miss Lakeisha Shaw, Miss what's her name? Miss Carla Daniels, I'm so sorry, yes. Miss Puckett, I mean, you have so many people that can help you and tell you information. You have to grasp these people and let them know the service that you got going on and be in their face. That's the best way to be. Because one thing about it, what comes out their mouth, they're never going to tell you nothing wrong, and they're going to find a way. They're going to find some kind of way or give you some kind of answer to what you're looking for.
Well, for me, it's really putting yourself there. I'll give you an example. We went to an event about 3 months ago in, oh my God, Sand Hills. The event was a sad event. It was only like 5 of us. So, very sad. But we said, you know what? We're here, we're almost 2 hours away from home, and we're not gonna make this a sad day. It may have been a sad event, but we're not gonna make it a sad day. We're gonna make it a productive day. Who can we target in this area? Well, we had, what is that military base? Fort Bragg. We were right around the corner from Fort Bragg. We GPS'd it, we're like 5 minutes, 10 minutes away. I said, let's go, girl, let's get into that military camp. How? I've never been in a military camp, know nothing about them. I just followed the signs, went through this little exit thing that took me to the guard, those guard checkpoints. I had no idea. Thought I was in Mexico coming back to the U.S. That's what it felt like. So we went through the checkpoint. The guy said, oh, are you all lost? Or are you looking for Starbucks? So we were profiled. We were like, huh, really? I said, no, we're not lost. We know exactly where we're going. How can we get in there? He said, well, you got to have a pass. And I said, okay, well, can you give us the pass? He said, no, ma'am, you got to go to a different location to get your pass, and they got to vet you and whatnot. I said, okay, well, we'll do that. And then he said, well, you need to keep going and make that U-turn. So I gave him that look, and I kept driving slow, and he kept staring, make sure we were going to make that U-turn, which we did. We made the U-turn, but we were trying to Google the other location. I guess he thought we were just going to go straight into the camp. So anyway, long story short, we Googled the other location, went in there, got our IDs to get in the camp. Once we were in the camp, it was game on. We went talking to people. We didn't know who we were going to talk to, but we asked for names when we were getting our ID. When we walked into these locations, we went in there asking for Joe Smith, like we had been working with Joe Smith for 10 years. And Joe Smith said, well, I'm out to lunch. He's out to lunch. And I said, well, when will he be back? So we waited. We made connections while we were there. Long story short, 3 months later, we're in Camp Lejeune now. So, just put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yay for military. Okay, we talked to one in there.
My name is Farrah Anderson. I'm with Cleanup Guys LLC, and we have a business that's a little particular. We do trash bin cleaning at residential services for homes. People can put them out, but a lot of people haven't heard about our service, and we would love to get in with the city. How did you guys find valuable resources, identify them, and then contact them in the city?
You find them right here.
I was
There's
gonna say in the
Maria
back of the
right
room.
here. They're right
Yeah.
here.
They're in the room today.
Yeah,
They're
they're
waving
all
their
in the room.
hands. And then the lady in the yellow. She's right behind you with the mic.
Oh, hello. Thank you. I'm Christine Harrison with Undivide Us, a social enterprise as opposed to a regular commercial enterprise. I have one question initially to ask. All of you all are very accomplished and you're growing, but do you ask for reviews and comments from your customers that you can then post on your marketing materials or your online presence?
We have previously, but that is a good practice and something we talked about that we should do more of. And to be quite honest, haven't done it enough. So that is something that we should and will do.
People read reviews.
Yes.
And especially coming from certain officials or certain corporations that have working experiences with you, whenever you get a compliment on the back, share it with those who might want to consider working with you.
And if they're really willing to write it, they're willing to be a referral, most likely. So that's a major thing.
Yeah.
So what I do is, if you can go to Google on your phone, you can type in Raz Rich's Mobile Detailing, and we are a 5-star business. We have over probably 60 reviews, which I can't make everybody leave a review, but that's definitely something that I forward over to the government so they can actually see, or any corporate business as well, so they can see the services and the things that other people say about the services they receive from us. So that's definitely important to know that you have over 60 people, leaving pictures, reviews, great things to say, and that kind of helps the work out.
It feeds the circle.
Yes, ma'am, it does. Yes.
And did you have anything?
Yes, we have our own department for that, so I'm gonna be honest, that's the realm I don't step in. This is my gig right here, to make the company grow and make money, and then pay somebody else to, hey, get me those reviews.
Come on, honey, you better delegate.
That's right.
Delegation is real. You had a second question.
I do. As a social enterprise, Undivide Us has been around for more than 2 decades, approaching 3 decades. It was founded in the wake of the Oklahoma City bombing, a horrific incident. And we just decided to publish products and items that carry the branded, trademarked name Undivide Us. And we've been very successful. In fact, I do have some cards if any of you care to have one. But one of our early supporters was the late Dianne Feinstein. And on our Facebook page, we posted a letter that we received from her after we sent all of the U.S. senators and officials one of our published bumper stickers that said Undivide Us. So that's a brief introduction to who I am and what I do.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions before I have to turn the mic over? See, I'm conscious of my time because I like to get invited back. Nothing? Yes, over here on the far side. Thank you so much to our lovely lady who's running the mic. Thank you, Pam.
Hello, my name is Denica Seymour from DIGI Discoveries. We offer diversity, equity, and inclusion economic solutions to small businesses. And that could be anywhere from training to helping them with government contracts, connecting the government with small businesses, women-owned businesses. So we do a lot of those types of things. But what I've noticed the most, and what I want to ask you guys, how often do you call your folks that are helping you, the procurement officers? How often do you set up meetings with those procurement officers and actually talk to them and walk through the process with them? or walk through and say, hey, I'm interested in this particular bid. Can you walk me through something? Or I've bid on this and it was awful. I didn't get, what it is that I needed to get. Can you walk me through line by line what it is that I did wrong? How often do you all do that? Or, in the beginning when you didn't understand what you were actually doing?
Well, if there's a certain department within the city or not just this city, I will call and reach out and ask, hey, y'all have any work available, anything? I mean, if it's a city you don't live in, sometimes you don't know what's been passed through city council, what money they have set aside. So we do reach out to other people. Far as turning in a bid, if there's a pre-bid meeting, most of the time it's a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting, but we make sure to attend because oftentimes that's when they go over the scope of work. Other contractors, even you can ask questions for, just anything technical about the project and the process of bidding it. So I think personally attending those pre-bid conferences, and if it's a task or a trade that doesn't have those conferences, I mean, personally, I would recommend just calling, just talking to find out, hey, blah, blah, blah. So.
For me, I have our project managers, depending on the county we're working on, once a week. Once a week, if the project has been awarded, still have contact once a week. If there was a problem, and not a problem with a bid, but if we weren't awarded this bid and we were the only bidder, why weren't we awarded it if we were the only bidder? You put the bid out there 3 times to try to get contractors. No one shows up. We're the only ones that show up and we still don't get it. What did we do wrong? Why? What happened? We have our project managers ask those questions. They do, and then I sit with them and I ask them, what happened? What was the whole protocol? What can we do better next time? So that's how we do it.
I stay in contact with them monthly and bi-monthly. I do. I just like to follow up with people. Just sometimes, like I said, I just send you any kind of message. Because I know it's going to trigger you to respond. It's going to be positive, but at the end of the day, like, oh, God, here go Melvin. So I definitely stay in contact with them. And if I didn't get the contract, I definitely want to talk to the person that was over the contract just to find out, technically what could I have done better? Now, if it's a lower price that just outbeat me, I can't do nothing about that because my service is going to stay where my service is at and the price as well. So.
Very good. Go ahead.
One more thing. I don't know if it was said or if I said it, but the one resource is to stay on top of the state purchasing website. I think it's the interactive purchasing website.
Come on, audience. I hear you. So it's EVP now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the info, and I think that you should stay on top of that because not just the city, but I mean, you filter everything.
Mm-hmm. Make sure your commodity codes are right, and they will email you every night starting at 9:00.
Right.
Also, if you are subscribed to, if you go on the MWBE webpage with the city, you can become one of the members of our listserv, and every time the city of Raleigh has a project, we put a notification out, and it will come to you directly. So MWBE webpage with the city, and become one of the subscribers. You'll get it every time.
And also, a lot of times, it's good to go to the pre-bids, I think, just because, the knowledge that you obtain, whether you get it or you don't, you still, once again, building a relationship with that person that's over that contract. And they're going to be the ones that's probably putting that contract out yearly a couple times, so you definitely want to go. Because, I got a lot of information when I went to pre-bids, to be honest. I didn't know nobody in the room. I just knew that this was the right place for me to be at, and I felt like I could, get a lot of information and actually meet that person. Actually, I walked with one of the people around the building, and he actually told me everything that was going on around there just because I went to the pre-bid, and I was concerned. You can't turn away a concerned small business, right? Supposedly. So you want to definitely make sure, put your best foot forward and go to those pre-bid meetings and see what's going on so you'll know what direction you need to be heading in.
Perfect. Uh-oh, which way you want to go with the microphone?
You all have mentioned certifications, And sometimes I feel like I'm in a maze of certifications. You have the hub certification. You got the WBE certification. You got the MBE certification. You got the DBE certification. You got the HUB certification. Then I got this other certification, I think it's Small Women's Owned Business certification.
WOSB.
However, that's through the SBA. Then I got somebody calling me, the WeBank, telling me this, that all these certifications about to expire. Oh yeah, you got the SAM.gov certification, and it's a maze. So you all, you three, please, which ones would you think would be the ones to start off with before you get tangled up in a maze? And then they all want information. They want documentation out the woodwork. And then everybody wants different documentation. Then you get to the point, some of them want the same documentation, but some different over here. But then we need to hear, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then you get tired of spending money. I hope y'all feel this, because I'm very, very serious, because once you all really get into this stuff, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. So, oh, well, and that's another thing. Woo, let me reel back. The WeBanks, so y'all know, they want you to spend money. And then once you do that, now they're telling me it's time for stuff to be renewed. And I said, you know, how much you want? They want me to give them my records so they can charge me according to the amount of revenue that I brought in. And now you know that ain't happening. So now I got to figure out how to break away from them and still keep all my certifications without having to start all this process all over again.
Well, I would say in a nutshell, you only do the certifications that apply to your business. If it doesn't align, if you're not aiming to do federal work, you don't need a WOSB, Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small. Those things don't apply to local government. So whatever you're working towards is what those certifications should be. You should never pay somebody for something that's free, number one.
That's right.
Number two, request they give you all your information, that whatever they set up, so that you have access to maintain it, to keep it there. Do you have anything extra to add? Because I know we're tapping into the networking section next. Go ahead, JB. I mean, is it JB?
BJ.
BJ, sorry. I don't know why I had dyslexia in that moment.
It's the same letters.
So sorry.
No, I think in this line of work, DBE certified and hub certification is what we would say is the most important.
And what I did,
DBE, disadvantaged business enterprise.
and I agree with you. You know, each certification depends on the business you're in, on the industry you're in. You know, maximize that. Don't have 20 certifications and you're really only using 2, because that's what your business needs. What I did in my situation, I hired someone specifically to file for all of these certifications. I hired her for 8 to 10 months. She did it all. I just gave her the information and sign here and notarize there. That's all I did. Unfortunately, we do have to spend some money when it comes to investing in ourselves, you know, but like you said, you know, you don't have to pay these organizations when you can do it for free. But if you don't want to do it for free, then you might want to consider paying someone to do it for you.
I feel like if you're starting locally, you should definitely focus on the NC Hub certification. And once again, if you need help with stuff like that, it would be good to look up Bold Growth Agency on LinkedIn.
Shout out. There was one more question over here before we transition. Sorry.
I was just
Come on, Carla. Tell them about the Hub office.
Yes. My name is Carla Copes, and I'm with the North Carolina Hub Office, Community Engagement. And I just wanted to just kind of respond to the question about certification. And for businesses, one, as it's been said many times, do your homework. Just like you research the industry that you want to start your business in, research resources to assist you with things like certification. And as far as certification and what level, if you are a new business and you're looking to grow your business and do business, the first certification that you could consider is local to where you are. And that may be with your local municipality or statewide, like the hub certification. But when you think about certifications, you want to think local, you want to think statewide, and then federal. And each of those levels are going to require you having some sort of experience in contracting. And so that's why you want to do your homework and see, whether you want to start out with City of Raleigh and then move into state agencies, which would be the state level, and then something like the 8A or the SBA, which would be federal. So just an idea.
Thank you, Carla. All right, so I want to get us into our networking portion of it before we transition, but can we please give a round of applause for this amazing panelist? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, I am Diana Nicole Graham, owner of Crown for Success Global Consulting, LLC. We are a human capital development company that believes in shining light and building people. We thank you for coming to City of Raleigh, our first midweek event. We're delighted to have you here. Make sure that you exchange information, you network, and until next time, unless Lakeisha has anything else, until next time, thank you again for coming.